real life world doesn't need two currencies for you. Why would you need two currencies? It would just confuse everybody. And this is actually one of the reasons as well. It, like, having world locks as currency confuses new people that come into the game. It's just like, what's this? Why does people trade world locks? Like, why is it a currency? Like, for new persons joining the game, we can see this from our data, that they are confused about this. Like, why? Why would you have two currencies? You can't have, you already have bytecoins. You have one. So just use that, but for some reason. But this would make it much easier for everybody else who comes from other communities, from other games than from Growtopia, to actually learn how it works. And I think for the game's health and the economy's health inside the game, this would make so much sense to just remove the world locks from the game, basically. The change is not bad itself. Of course, you have to, like, the old community has to learn how things work, but for new players, it's just instantly much more clear how it works. New players will 100% just instantly see, like, hey, of course, it's like this. And you don't have to start calculating how much is this worth, because you can just press the item info from the items info and check what's the value of the item in the PixelWorlds exchange. You can immediately see the value of the item instead of trying to figure out how many world locks is that. You can just check. It's okay, it's 2,053 bytecoins. Done. We're good. Like, it's so much faster and easier. The most important thing is that for new players, our economy would be much easier to understand. So they would realize what everything is worth, so they can join the game faster, easier, and understand it, instead of it being some, like, unknown science that only some handful of veteran players know. By just definition, this would make the new player experience much easier and better. And once again, if our first-time user experience that we call F2 is better, then it means that PixelWorlds is going to grow. We're gonna get much more players. The game will go grow better. We're gonna have more developers working, and we're gonna have better updates and like everything. It's just plus, 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 and plus. One more time, guys. Then I trust you guys to spread the information and the awareness about it. If we would do this, the whole point would be that we would rebalance bytecoins to the exact amount that people are trading the world locks for bytecoins at that current time. So, for example, this means that if you are trading bytecoins, one world lock for 250 bytecoins in PixelWorlds exchange, or in trade worlds, like that would be the community price, let's say. Then we would rebalance the NPC vendor in the PixelWorlds, like in the Pixel Station, to give you 250 gems for 250 bytecoins for a world lock. So we would rebalance that. And what this means is that single player wouldn't lose anything. This change would not add anything to the economy. It would not remove anything from the economy. It would keep the amount of currency in the game exactly the same that it is right now. Players who have bytecoins or world locks would not have more bytecoins or more world locks than what they can have right now. It would stay exactly the same. They can trade like everything, they can still trade bytecoins like they can trade world locks right now. The only thing that is going to be removed is the possibility to drop world locks to the ground. That's the only thing that is going to change. Yes, you can trade world locks, but does it matter if the item that you trade between players looks like a box or it looks like a round coin? What's the difference? There's no difference between these two except the graphical side. They just look different. That's the only change that we're gonna create, and that you can't drop them, so you can lose them to a drop game, and they don't take space in your inventory. Isn't that a better thing? That your currency don't take space in your inventory? You guys been asking for extra inventory space for ages. We're giving it to you guys. For free. Well, if we're gonna do it. How do you trade efficiently? You have bytecoins. It's even better, and it is more efficient to use bytecoins. They don't use any inventory space, for example. Also, you cannot drop them like you can for World Lock, so nobody can scam them in a drop game or somewhere, those bytecoins. So, yeah, World Locks is faster way to trade and sometimes very efficient. This is very weird to me. How come it is faster to click your inventory, then click on the trade window, then scrolling the correct amount of World Locks, and then hitting OK, instead of just pressing the trade window and then scrolling the correct amount of bytecoins there? It actually is more efficient to use bytecoins this way, because you have to use one less click to add bytecoins into the trade, right? How can we trade a world? I think, at least at first, we would allow you to trade World Locks if you would trade a world. So you could trade a normal World Lock by just, like, if you trade a world like you would trade it right now. Yeah. But you can, by doing that, you can only trade one World Lock, so yeah. The only reason why people use World Locks is because like at the start of the game, a lot of people came from Growtopia to our community and started using World Locks, and like everybody just continued using World Locks. So like the only reason is Growtopia to have that? No, we're gonna remove them. All of the players that start the game don't understand why World Locks are the currency that players trade. 100% or 99% if they don't come from Growtopia. But let's say 100% of the new players don't understand why people trade World Locks. It's not currency. So yeah. If some players don't understand why they would not be a currency, then it's like it's that amount of people. Like we care. Like I know it sounds a little bit like we care about our current player base, of course, a lot. I wouldn't listen to you. I wouldn't make these live streams if we wouldn't care about you guys. But we also have to think about the health of the game for the future, for the years to come. And to be honest, to be real honest, World Locks for currency is not a good thing. It's the only reason why it is currency is because Growtopia didn't want to create their own currency, and just people didn't have anything to trade with in Growtopia, and that's why they started to use World Locks, because they had to have something. Definitely, if we are going to do it, I'm gonna make a video just about this or something, like, or have like a very big part of a video just be about it, or something like that. I might still make a video about it, explaining how it would be, and can you still figure out something that we didn't think about, but yeah. The only problem will be that we will have to deal with huge amounts of bytes, and even if you make it untradable, the players will still think that, for example, 250 bytes equals one World Lock, which is pointless. Is that enough? No. It's basically from, for example, here in Europe, when we transition from, well, here in Finland, we transition from mark to euro. Yeah, of course, first it's gonna take a while for you to get used to it, but in the end it's better. And remember, guys, we've been doing this transition, and like, I'm still not saying that we're gonna do it. But if we're gonna do it, we've been already transitioning into bytecoins already for 2 years. You're like, for some reason, people are like feeling, oh my god, we have this new currency that is coming out into the game called bytecoins. Guys, it's been there for 2 years already. Most of you guys have been using bytecoins already to trade. Like, it's not a new thing. Yeah, okay. There are two main reasons why I don't think they should be untradable. A massive increase of bytecoins in circulation can mess with the economy a lot. How can they mess with the economy? Because the value in the economy is already there. The amount of money circulation, it is not going to be changed. It's just going to change form. It's not going to add more value into, or more currency into the economy. The amount of currency is not going to change, so therefore, in theory, it should not affect the economy in any way. It decreases the value of Bitcoin. No, it shouldn't decrease the value of Bitcoin because the amount of currency in the game is the same, and the amount of gems that you trade, for example, for Bitcoins is going to be exactly the same. Everything is going to be exactly the same, so it shouldn't decrease the value of Bitcoins in any way. By making world locks untradable would completely kill every single trading social world. Why would it? No, it wouldn't. Why? Because you can still trade Bitcoins with each other. You can trade Bitcoins normally. Bitcoins wouldn't be untradable. This change would render platinum locks useless. Yes, exactly. That's the whole point. All the locks would become basically useless. In Growtopia, DLs and BGLs are to divide expensive stuff from cheap stuff. No. In Growtopia, diamond locks became a thing because people couldn't have more than 200 world locks in their inventory, and people have more than 200 world locks, so the only way to have more world locks in your inventory was to create diamond locks and whatever is BGLs. That's probably the same thing, so you can only have 200 of those. But Bitcoins in itself just fixes the whole problem. You can have unlimited amount in your inventory of Bitcoins, so you don't need anything like that. But the whole economy will change because the whole community would be in panic selling mode. It'll be a mess. Why would they be in panic selling mode? Like, I get it that some people might go nuts, but for why? Because why? Like, once again, why would you panic? Because A, nothing changes its value. Nothing. The world locks on the day would be the same, like you would get the same amount of Bitcoins that they are worth. You could change them, exchange them anytime. So you would not lose any value. There's unlimited amount that you can change from the vendor, right? There's no limits to the vendor, how much. Bitcoins manipulate prices in PixelWorld's exchange through seller buying and selling their own items, which increases or decreases the value of an item. The more bytes you have, the more you can control the economy. Yes, but if you use PixelWorld's exchange to manipulate, you constantly lose currency this way because of the commission that the PixelWorld's exchange has. So you cannot do this free, and by definition, when you cannot do it free, the economy itself will balance itself out. In the end, you can probably temporarily pull something like this, but in the end, it will go back down in like maybe a day or even like that. Compared to something like what is happening with world locks right now and with items, the amount of world locks something is worth changes so much, and people can manipulate it way too much at this moment. So it would actually become more stable. It's at least my theory. Well, there is a theoretical limit in Bitcoins how much you can get, but it's like 2 trillion or something, 2 trillion 500 billion, something like that, and it's just there because it becomes too long, so it doesn't fit the screen anymore. But yeah, that's not gonna happen. Like, if we put together all the currency, all the value, all the items of the game and just convert that to Bitcoins, it would not be enough to hit that cap. So yeah, you're good. We have to take this into consideration that they are countries and countries have different things. But the amount of how much one person has valuable things is what is inflation, like about the currency and the purchasing power of that currency. The purchasing power of that currency would not change even if you transfer euros to dollars, or if this one person, if you would change all the euros and whole Europe would change to dollars, the amount of purchasing power that these people have would not change. They still can buy that same amount. Like, if I transfer all of my money that I have in my account to dollars, I can still buy the same amount of things with that amount of dollars. It will not raise the, like, for example, now the 1 liter bottle of milk would cost $10 instead of $1. It's not gonna change that. It's not gonna change the price of milk or the purchasing power that my $1 or €1 has. So the purchasing power of 1 bytecoin is still gonna be the same, even if all the world locks or whatnot would be, because the amount of currency in that would not change. The person still has the same amount of currency that he already has right now. The purchasing power that he has right at this moment, after making the world locks untradable, would still be the same. That would not change. And that is what inflation is. It is the change of purchasing power that the person has. Please don't make world locks untradable. Why? So far, I have not heard one single good reason why we should not make them. So far, I have not, like, people are saying like, oh, it would be bad, but why? Why would it be bad? People are like, no, I'm gonna quit if you make this, but that's not a good reason. like you're talking about your feelings, not about something that is it good? Because even if it would feel bad, but it's good for the game, we should do it.